from Wichita, and Alaska, number 44, Kamaka Hepa.
Hey, what's up, guys? Back again here. And we're now going to talk, and I'm now going to give my thoughts on the last University of Hawaii men's basketball game. And that was on November 30th against a first-time foe in Texas A&M Commerce. And unfortunately, UH let that one get away. I'll say that right now. They were down 14 in the second half, and they managed to get all the way back to within 2 points in the waning seconds, only to lose it in controversial fashion thanks to the referee. But unfortunately, we didn't really play all that well overall. At least that's what Coach Aron Ganot said on the radio. And unfortunately, I would have to agree there, which is why I'm going to say right now, I'm going to give my grade right away. I would definitely have to give them a grade of certainly between a C and a C minus, because overall, they really didn't play all that great, particularly in the first half. So let's get started. All right, as I said, it ended in a 53-51 loss for UH, which came down in the final few seconds. But overall, in the first half, what I saw against them was virtually a carbon copy of the Yale game, because UH did not play well in the first half. They were held to only 5 field goals made in that first half and a season-low 15 points. Now, against Yale, after the first half, they were down 17-16. And neither team really shot the ball well. Unfortunately, UH, they stayed in it, but overall, once Texas A&M Commerce took the lead, they pretty much had to play catch up for the rest of the game. And really, when you're held to that low amount of field goals, I don't care if it's the first half or the second half, 9 times out of 10, you will lose the game in the end. However, I did a little digging just before I came on with this video. UH has pulled off a similar feat, because in 2018, during conference play at UC Irvine, the University of Hawaii came away with a 62-61 win at UC Irvine. They were up 7 after the first half, but in the second half, they struggled offensively. And how many field goals did they make in that second half? 3. That's right. They only made 3 field goals in the second half. But they were extremely proficient at the free throw line, missing only 3 of them. They were 17 of 20, I believe. And fortunately, UH had a big enough lead, and although they were held to without a field goal in those final 17 minutes, but the fact that they were able to remain very solid at the free throw line, that really won the game for them. However, they actually built a lead in that game. The Texas A&M Commerce game, they were trailing for much of the game. And that's why I say, if you're held to just 5 field goals or even 3 field goals, like they were against UC Irvine in 2018, 9 times out of 10, you will lose that game in the end. And unfortunately, this was one of those 9 games where UH ended up losing in the end. But overall, they didn't really play all that great in the first half. But as I said earlier, what we saw against Yale, pretty much those cold streaks came back. And Kamaka Hepa hit a triple pretty much early on, but the ref blew the whistle and negated the shot. And unfortunately, that was a sign of bad things to come, because they were held to only 1 triple in the first half, and one of those 5 field goals made was that lone triple from Hepa. But overall, despite all that, they hung in there defensive-wise, but in the second half, they struggled again, letting that gap get to 14. And But fortunately, UH proved their resilience, and they were able to come back within a possession. And the fact that they lost the game in the waning moments. Now I want to say that I did get some B-roll with my phone. You'll see that on this video. And I will say, though, I did record one clip of the game from the internet. Now, I want to acknowledge that because, of course, all rights go to that user. I don't want to mention it because I don't want to mention it because I don't really want to get in any trouble here. But anyway, but there's no sound anyway, so you're probably not gonna. So I'm probably gonna be all right here. But anyway, I'm gonna give a visual description here with my hands. Now, the player that had the catch was on Texas A&M Commerce. That was Alex Peavy. He goes to the left, and the referee is on this side, and he collides with the official. Now, here's the problem. That official blew the whistle after JoVon McClanahan got the ball, puts up a Hail Mary, hits the three-pointer. Everybody thinks it should have gone. Everybody thinks it should have counted, but instead, the official blows the whistle, declaring the play dead. And unfortunately, UH has to go back from scratch. And quite often, you're not going to get a second. And quite often, you're not going to be lucky the second time around. And it's plays like that that really make me wish so badly that I wish that basketball had lawyers to overturn that call. I'm sorry, guys, but that's just the way I feel because that was ours on a silver platter. And we very well should have salvaged that win. We could have definitely salvaged that game for sure. But no, that official had to be a total asshole and blow a play dead, a play that he didn't even see on top of that, which is just as bad. And really, that official out there, I really hope he either never officiates a basketball game again or he's looking for another job. I'm not going to lie, guys. That's the reality. You open a giant can of worms by blowing a whistle on a play you didn't even see, which is just as agonizing. And the fact that he didn't even call a foul on the triple that Hepa blew up, that Hepa had thrown up as a Hail Mary, and that didn't even hit the iron. Why was that not a foul? That was my question. So that's the thing. I mean, I could go on and on, and I could go on and on about, oh, that referee should be looking for another job or anything like that. But hey, we're moving on. But still, props to Texas A&M Commerce because they played well, and we were down some players ourselves. I mean, we lost Beon Riley in the North Shore Classic. He had to be helped off the court in the Texas State game, and he couldn't put any pressure on one of his feet. I think it might have been an ankle or a foot injury. I'm not quite sure. But he did come back to the bench, and I could kind of see it in the North Shore Classic. I could kind of see him standing there on the side. He was coming back to the team, and he was standing on his own 2 feet. So hopefully Riley is not hurt because is not out for any more games because they definitely could have used him in that game, and if he had played that game, we would have won that one going away. I'm going to say that right now. But still, looking on the good notes, on the good side of things, Noel Coleman, not much else you can say about him. He led the way again. With 18 points, and he had that triple that certainly got UH back in the hunt. Of course, Kamaka Hepa next with 11. He and those two were the only two that exceeded 10 points, and But I was a little bit surprised that Samuta Avea did not crack 10 points in that game. I mean, obviously, it just kind of wasn't his night. I guess you could say that. But another guy that I was kind of surprised with was Harry Ruliadev. Because in the last 3 games at the North Shore, even in the game against Hawaii Pacific, which was not televised, um, Harry really broke out of his shell, and he exceeded 10 points in all 3 of those games, and you're seeing it right here. So I was actually surprised that Harry Ruliadev didn't have a particularly good game. And if he had done a little better, I thought that maybe we would have come out on top 10. And a lot of this loss could be because of that awful first half. And frankly, I thought that the fact that Beon Riley was not suited up was probably maybe the other 40 or 50% of why we lost. But still, overall, the fact that UH is able to get back in the hunt by their defense, they proved they're ready once again, they proved they're ready to go defensively in terms of Big West play. But this was probably the first game that I felt that first test for Big West Conference play that overall I felt UH did not pass. I love their resilience and all. They certainly prove it in more ways than one. And the fact that they were able to come back to give themselves a chance at the win certainly told a story. I mean, we won the turnover battle with 13 to Commerce's 14. But the fact that we were held to only 5 field goals in the first half really did us in. And as I said earlier, if you're held to only 5 field goals, or even 3 for that matter, 9 times out of 10, you won't win that game unless you somehow pull something out of the bag. And UH almost did once again. So overall, although they didn't play that well, and Kanat even said that he didn't think that they played particularly well. I certainly would agree, which is why I would give them a grade of a C or a C minus. But hey, that was a win we should have gotten, but it is what it is. But like the team, we're moving on. I mean, as I said, I could go on and on about that official really costing us the game, but it won't even help one bit. So obviously, no matter how you slice it, the real first game is on December 29th against UC Davis, because that's when Big West play begins. So once again, I'm going to show a little bit of my B-roll here. And so hope you guys liked what I had to say, especially concerning that official who really cost UH the game. And I meant every word I said. That guy should either never officiate a basketball game again or go look for another job. Because you totally opened a can of worms, pal. Unfortunately, this happens all the time. And, but hey, we're moving on. But hey, life goes on. And props to Texas A&M Commerce, because they really made us work for it. We would have won that game for sure if it wasn't for that douchey call. So anyway, that's going to do. And all right, guys, that's it for now. and I'll show you some of my B-roll just before we wrap it up. Next game will be on the road at UNLV. I won't be there, but that game will be televised. Will not be televised. It will be on the radio. And will I do a video on that? I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. But the next home game will be against another first-time foe in St. Francis, and that will be on December 11th. That's a Sunday. So for now, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all for that next game. Well, I'm opponent, everyone.
Number 5, Bernardo da Silva. Ladies and gentlemen.